G'day and welcome back to the OPL Week 7. Right now it is do or die time for the Bombers. If they lose this game, there is no way they can make the gauntlet run. And the team that is standing in front of them is the gauntlet specialist himself from last year, Sid Gaming. Obviously, they can't make it this year.
I was
bloody sweet to deny us team a spot.
At the end of that sentence, I was wondering like where you were taking it. But yeah, gauntlet experts in Sin Gaming makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it certainly does. I'm looking down the line at how Sin has been performing in this game, and they're such an exciting young team. They've got Praetor, who is, you know, whilst been around for a little while, still a young top laner, but Doink as well as Dream. And I think that when they play well, they honestly look the goods.
Yeah, they absolutely do. When they step up, looking clean, they look cohesive, and that's one thing you have to credit Sin for. Even in their losses, even in their wins, they always kind of look like they're on the same page for the most part.
They look like a single voice team.
Yes, which makes a lot of sense and is definitely good, especially when you're into Game 3, things like this, when the stress levels rise, when the games do get more and more important. Having that one voice, that one call to follow just makes it all the more easy. Especially
when it is a 6'4" alpha male that rows for a living in Jubes, outsmarted Levi, by the way.
Yeah, by the way.
Bryce. I feel like if you're going to have a shot caller, it's good to have a charismatic one, such as Jubes always keeps the team up. It's going to be Talia, Alistar, as well as Sejuani banned away. Jarv and Karzik Skana banned by the Bombers.
Bombers not switching anything up. They're going for the jungle pinch once again. 4 of them taken away so far. Sejuani on the lineup of Sin, but do they go the new? This is the second time this series we've seen the Ghost cleanse, the default summoners. I don't know what it is. I don't know what causes it, but it wasn't even on the top lane. It was on the jungle, red side jungle.
Kuden going to grab the doorman again.
Yep.
Popped off game 2. That dive bottom lane. He played that nearly as good as you can. Obviously, Tiger disrespected and burned the flash, but Kuden to lay a CC like that, that's an impressive thing.
Yeah, absolutely perfect there. And makes sense to pick that one up again. We mentioned Xayah Rakan. Bombers might actually just opt into it. Do they lock in the support? Do they go for something different? No. So they do have that flexibility, can still go for things.
Yeah, it depends how highly you value Camille, right? If you just don't want to give anything away, you take Xayah Rakan. I think the other thing here is they now can't third rotation Rise, in my opinion, because otherwise you don't get the Rakan, in which case Xayah drops down a little bit in priority. Obviously still a good AD carry. Tristana as well as question mark right here just makes a lot of sense. Sion, something like that.
I feel like it doesn't make sense to not pick the Rakan, because Xayah Rakan, even into Doorman, is like a hard matchup, right? And he denies a lot of that threat. But if you're not even going to pick the Lovers duo and you pick something like, let's say, Taric, then you're just picking the Xayah into the Braum.
I love this out of Bedoink. He is a better Cassiopeia player than a Rise player, in my opinion. And he knows that Luch likes Rise. So he says, you know what, man? I'm going to preemptively take the counter.
Take it.
Take it.
There we go. See what they do have. See if they have another Kassadin counter pick. Was not effective. Can too. Do they have something similar?
If you're Windows Monkey, you have to back your superstar mid laner right now. Oh, he doesn't. He takes the Rakan.
Okay. Okay, and this is it. We've seen it twice today where Red Side has kind of been forced into this situation where they opt in for picking like a jungler, I think it was last game, or whether they go for duo, but they do opt in for the duo. So Xayah Rakan, I feel like Tiger and Rosie have been playing all right for the most part. They want to put a lot of agency on that bot lane, have that duo already locked away.
Even in the second game, they were up 20 CS when they only had 20 CS. They did a very good job of shutting down Dream. Dream obviously scaled as the game went on.
Obviously it was the recipient of those kills in the top side team fight where Bombers kind of just like one by one overreached and they were just dying, and then he gets 3 kills, suddenly completes 2 items boots, and he's absolutely popping off.
Gives the camera a little bit of a nod. That's a funny face out of
Dream.
He's giving him a cheeky wink.
Cheeky wink. I like it. There we go. Now he's gone straight back to serious.
He is a serious guy. It's going to be Sion as well as Gnar banned away by Bombers. So not wanting sleeping on the Gnar. That's strange. Back-to-back games.
I mean, they do have the Camille flex. Obviously, because they banned away the Sion and they banned away the Gnar, the jungle pool has not been pinched quite to the extent it had in the first 2 games, which means Juice has a few more options.
But GP not really been touched.
Yeah. After that, like GP into Lucian.
Yeah, I thought GP would like. I think GP's fine at the moment. Like Vladimir, Lucian, Gnar all seem to do fine into it.
Ooh, okay. Karma, here we go. Because this is the thing, if Luch is building either watches on Kassadin, I feel like you can just guarantee he's building either watches on Karma. If they're going to play Karma mid, 100%, that makes a lot of sense. They do have a decently scaling AD carry in the Xayah, putting a lot of eggs in the Tiger basket for the most part, and obviously Karma into Cassio. You never want to fight her. Karma just plays the wave. She wants to push in, wants to leave, just dematerialize. and then go elsewhere. Juves
takes it again.
I like it.
3 from 3. He obviously thinks it's very good.
I like it. The second game was the swing game because you get stomped game 1 and you're like, man, like, oh, Kindred sucks, and then you just don't play it again. But no, stuck with it. Game 2, significantly better performance.
Well, if it wasn't a better performance and he lost, he doesn't get to play it in Game 3.
Yeah, So now he does, and he's damn well taken that opportunity.
For sure, it's going to be a choker taken into the top lane as well. So now, what have they got on the side of Bombers for sleeping? Cho'Gath just is anti-pressure. He just absorbs everything. He's so hard to dive because of the silence. See whether they take that Camille top lane or whether they give him an even more aggressive matchup.
And they do. Will be the Camille on the top lane. Zach locked in for Seb. Obviously, was banned second rotation for the first couple of games.
I think that's kind of strange, to be honest, because we just saw Camille versus Kindred do very well for the Camille, able to defend camps. Then we saw Kindred versus Tank. Honestly sucked for the Tank. And then they had the choice
of opting in Camille versus Kindred.
And they take the Tank matchup again. I feel like that's kind of throwing... You're going to like this one. I feel like that's kind of throwing Seb to the wolf.
Hey, I like it.
And the lamb.
Yeah.
But mainly the wolf.
Don't forget the lamb. Don't forget the lamb. But in saying that, Luch isn't on the Kassadin. He will have some semblance of Lanka. Just not whack him to death. Yeah, he's hunched over the desk, just so happy with himself right now.
That was so good.
But, as I was saying, the Kassadin isn't locked in, so they actually have a mid laner that has early pressure. Not kill pressure, but they have wave pressure, so he can actually rotate. They don't have a Kassadin who, until level 6, literally just won't help you in the jungle. If you're getting invaded, there's no chance he's coming. Karma can turn a gank if Juice overcommits on a squishy champion like the Kindred, and he overcommits for the kill, and you can get a flash shield or something like that. You have the CC, the slow, to follow it up with a kill. You have that deny ability.
Completely agree.
So
however, I think that nothing beats Cassiopeia in lane at the moment. Cassiopeia is just such a good laning champion. Level 2, able to chase down anyone. So we'll see how it goes. Bedoink certainly an impressive Cassiopeia player, and this is the deciding match. This is for all the marbles, so to speak. Did you play marbles as a kid?
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel like you're too young for marbles.
No, I had marbles. Up the hallway, you know. Yeah.
All right.
I back it.
Cool. I like it.
Stop hating, bro.
I'm not hating.
Come on, bro.
I'm in a good mood.
Okay. Hell yeah. But we're into game 3, and talk about the Cassio before we started talking about marbles. This was the matchup where he first whipped it out, where Bedoink started playing that one, and he had that big swing game where everyone's like, oh man, damn, this guy's Cassio's pretty good.
Yeah, that's when he went from being a solo queue Yasuo player in my brain to being a legitimate mid laner. Because he'd already, put out the Yasuo, he'd been playing a couple of weird niche picks, but then as soon as when you see a player play meta, you're like, why do you do the other stuff? You're so good at meta. Just play the meta. And right now, they have a very meta comp, apart from the Kindred, but Juves has already proven that it works.
But on the other side of the coin, Rosie gone for the Exhaust Ignite. So this is only a Xayah Rakan thing. Obviously, he has the spellbook, so can switch it out for heal and Ghost later in the game to get those engages. But they really want, despite being into a Braum with Guardian, they really want to kill. They want to force real early before Juves can get down there, before anything can happen. They want to force a kill. They want to force it back.
Yeah, for sure. And you see already Bedoink get chunks out a little bit in that mid lane. However, no empowered Q going to be available for the wave now, which is a little bit interesting.
Kuden kind of hovering around the river, and I feel like the bot lane of Bombers was actually floating up, just in case he went for the same cheese as he did last game. Obviously, Braum walked in onto the Kassadin, got the auto, the Q, Ignite, ruined Luch's day. Won't happen again this time.
Double W is going to be picked up. Quicker leash, however, for the Kindred by an absolute country mile. So you see Juves already done, 2 or 3 seconds earlier. And now can just set the tempo of the game.
Not to mention, it does give Sin's bottom lane first access to the wave, which can't be understated, honestly, especially in a matchup with a level 2 spike with Xayah Rakan.
Not only that, when you get access to the wave as someone that has a Targans, you actually just win the push. That's generally how it goes. However, hasn't won the push here because, they're just not hitting the creeps.
He hasn't. Dream trying to step up here, but he still has 2 procs, so if he can proc both of them on this wave, they do win the level 2 push, right? The wave 2 push.
Which is the important one.
Rosie's actually got bone plating, so he's gone Resolve secondary, gone Inspiration first with the spellbook, and then goes for that extra tankiness, extra defensive capabilities in the lane.
I feel like it's just the best default one now. As far as, if you can take one of, any of the secondaries, it just makes so much sense. As we see already, Juves has finished 3 camps. Seb's only just started this one, and Juves is just going to walk in and say, hey, mate, thank you for the leash again. You are the world's best leasher. I will take that one.
No smite for either jungler, really, so Seb just has to walk away, level down, loses the Raptors and just kind of shots off to his wolves. You have to think going to lose his golems as well. So Juves once again with a top lane priority. Praedyth was on the Scion last time, but now with a Cho'Gath, similar situation.
As we see, good buffer there, and Kuden gets the door up at the same time, so this level 2 Chi is really not going to work out at all. Good damage, however, is thrown down. I want to talk about something. As a jungler, there is 2 ways you win jungle. You get 2 Raptor Camps or you get 2 Scuttle Crabs. They're the 2 win conditions of early game jungling.
Seb's being a 2 Scuttle Crab player, and Juves is doing the Raptor Camps.
Juves has got both Raptor Camps.
Oh, the mark.
So I feel like right now Juves has won the game.
Yeah, okay. Doesn't get the mark.
You don't play much jungle, so you don't understand that.
I mean,
it is such a great feeling when you get 2 Raptor Camps.
I mean, I understand it, but I've also heard Samuel Spooks Broadly just complain week upon week, day upon day, scrim after scrim. If he loses a Raptor camp when he was on the Chiefs, he's like, guys, we've lost. And as soon as the other guy gets like a Raptor advantage, he's like, man, if he's on your screen, you're
Get
dead.
away, yeah.
I don't know if the Raptors, you're dead.
Meanwhile, talking about people that might be dead, Sleeping goes aggressive on the top lane, will get knocked up. Praedyth needs to cut this one out, burns the flash, in comes the TP from the Karma, should be able to turn this, cancels. Actually says Sleeping, unfortunately, buddy, you're on your own. Sleeping will get knocked up again, and now with that auto attack, will fall down. First blood for Juves.
And it was also actually Bedoink with the W. He grounds the Karma. Luch was in lane, so he didn't even cancel. He has the full duration cooldown on the teleport.
Does grounding stop teleport?
Yeah, it stops the channel. You can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You're just stuck in lane, grounded.
There you go. Colorcaster Egypt coming up with the goods. I've been insulting him all week.
Yeah, should have grinded the wiki harder, mate. Not enough hours in there.
Not enough hours.
Google Chrome, you need to step it up, mate. Step it up. But yeah, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal because full CDE on it means he can't get back to lane now for a cheeky reset.
Yep.
Also means that his top laner got killed.
Not to mention Bedoink has
oh, actually, Juves in a lot of trouble now. Will get slapped back. No, will not, but still falls down. Blade Lady comes back in with the teleport.
Yep, Juves kind of throws away his lead a little bit there, even across the board in camps with Seb now, but has that kill, so we'll have a better buy than Seb, potentially just an extra longsword or something like that, but Sleeping, once again, level advantage on the top side, is matched out by Praedyth. I think this is the first Cho'Gath game where we haven't seen the, what's the skin, the Mecha skin?
Yeah.
So we actually see the new visual update on the Silence, Battlecast, that's the skin.
DJ Paulie B Cho'Gath skin.
Yeah. So his silence is real weird. It's like this. It's like it looks bigger than it is. They got the new animation that actually matches now. But see if we get to see it. See if Sleeping actually goes aggressive. Or
do you know as he gets bigger, Cho'Gath's Vorpal spikes, his E get bigger.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. Is that the only ability that kind of like
scales with size?
Yeah. Other than like Tristana auto range, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah, but she doesn't get taller.
Yeah, that's
Imagine if her gun got bigger.
Ooh.
As Juves and Seb about to bump heads.
Seb knows what's happening. Obviously has that ward. It's about to approach onto your screen on the bot side there. Does actually get onto Juves.
Yeah, interesting here because now he has nothing and Juves can turn around, do some damage. Will dodge out of that Empower Q as well. However, over the wall they go. Flash as well. And you can see Sleeping will look to pick up this kill. Flash forward, however, with the heal. And that means that Sleeping now in some trouble. Will be able to get away, but Doink saves his mid laner's life.
That was so close there. Juves followed with a flash from Sleeping. Actually predicted it there. Very nicely played out of the Bombers' top side. But
Sleeping really needed that kill, by the way, because look at that top lane. It's just absolutely crashed.
Committed so hard there. Praedyth able to shove that one in. Has hit level 6 already. Has the feast stack because his ulti's on cooldown, so he got to shove that in, get a free reset, and will be able to walk back. Obviously, he doesn't have TP, but neither does Sleeping.
And this is one of those times that you like walking back, because you can see Sleeping, he's clearing the way very quickly. That's going to draw turret aggro, so it's going to preserve the life of the 2 melee minions, which means it will be a fast bounce back. In goes Rosie again, however, good use of the door from Kuden, keeps him out. One more auto would have done a lot of damage, however, not looking for it.
That would have Satchel, unfortunately, went onto the Xayah there, as he doesn't get any sort of trade damage onto Rosie, but you have to feel like Exhaust Ignite, they're approaching level 6. The window is kind of, once they hit that point, if their first ultimate combo, if it's a straight up 2v2, if Juves can't get down there, then if they don't actually get that kill, I feel like the Exhaustive Knight has not been effective. But in saying that, they haven't really sacrificed much. They're up in CS about 15
that's what
so
I was
far.
Say.
So
it's at least got them 14 CS lead, which is a pretty big deal. You can see recalls were matched. It's going to be a sword and a shield versus a sword and a sword. They're always interesting fights to watch in movies. When someone has like a sword and a dirk versus a sword and a shield.
But I feel like sword and a shield is like generic bad guy, and like a sword and a sword is like real cool, like good guy. You know, he always wins in the end. Yeah. Should have kept your beard, mate. You could have been badass Ragnar Lothbrok, but...
Yeah, unfortunately, Matthew Bowden hates all Vikings.
Ah, yeah. Of course, that is the producer of the OPL. Get some cheeky flame in there. Drew's going to steal away the red buff. Does have the mark.
Very nice
Onto
buffer
Camille.
again. Dream is a buffer Tristana.
He is.
He's a W backwards Tristana out of CC.
I hate that Tristana. You know what's just the dumbest interaction? If I land my Blitzcrank hook
And
on a Tristana,
yeah.
like Ezreal, I'm like, okay, that doesn't feel too bad. He's like magic, you know what I mean? And he's like shifting, he's portaling to a different location. Tristana's just like, what does she even do? Shoot the ground and kind of hop on top of a gun and zoom away?
I don't know, actually. That's a good idea.
If you get hit with a giant metal hook flying towards you, it should pull you back. That is dumb. But
tell us what you really think. I think
that's
people
what I really
at home
think.
are unsure.
That's what I really think. I think it's dumb. I think it's real dumb. But he's doing it very effectively. I feel like he's probably the best bufferer. He's definitely like the most proactive about it. He uses it the most. We've seen it the most from Dream than any other player in the OPL.
I feel like he does it to the point where like he is taunting you with it.
Yeah.
Like he is saying that I will step up for this CS and buffer, whereas other people will be like, I could buffer, but I could also just lose 1 CS and not have to use 50 mana. But Dream certainly looked for it. You can see right now that Rosie was looking to go aggressive, so he preemptively uses it this time.
Yeah, he does. Obviously.
Oh, actually going to be kidnapped back underneath the turret is Praetor. Teleport coming in as well. They're kiting towards Juves, and that's a second teleport that will be cancelled out.
Oh, and do they actually commit topside for the play? Bedoink is still going up there, and Juves is looking for the dive. Bedoink will be
now
spotted
spot
by
out
a ward.
Bedoink. Do they get it into the turret quick enough, or do they just back away? In goes Rosie straight away. They don't get the shield up in time. Good ultimate, however, out of Kuden. Means that Rosie will fall down. Reset will be there, but he doesn't jump in. Doesn't want to go for that. You can see right now, meanwhile, top lane. What the heck has happened up there?
Praetor actually just backs away from the kill because he wants a little bit of health back from the Lamb's Respite, so... Luch obviously still sitting in the mid lane, chugging away at the turret, but the 2v3, they must have looked for a dive, but couldn't quite find it. Nobody fell down topside.
Certainly the case. However, bottom lane, you mentioned the Exhaust Ignite not being effective. Well, that's just Exhibit A.
And that was straight up 2v2. No junglers, no TPs, no nothing, and Rosie falls down. Exhaust Ignite, not effective at all. The Braum Shield just denied enough of the damage. Meant that Dream on the back end didn't even have to blow Flash. Held onto that cooldown, just blew the heal. Lived for just long enough to be able to take Rosie down.
They also get the shove in afterwards. So not only do they get a better shot just because of the fact that they've forced all of that into the turret. First Blood picked up the Kuden. Not First Blood, but like Third Blood picked up the Kuden. First Blood went to Juves in the top lane. I'm real bad. That's, you know, just open feedback. I'm real bad at First Blood.
It's Kuden's First Blood.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
That's what you were going for. I respect it. Supports need some love every now and then. You know, like a Braum doesn't get that many kills in a game. I reckon you can hype up Kuden's First Blood. I like it.
All right. Cool.
First Blood to Kuden.
Juve's going to get his 3rd mark for the game.
Hell yeah. 3rd mark for Juves.
Tears picked up for Cassiopeia right now. Also has what will be probably an Abyssal Mask component there.
And unfortunately, I feel like for Luch on the Karma pick, has actually channeled TP twice, hasn't committed to either of the plays, been using it retroactively, reactively for the most part. And first one was unlucky that he got it cancelled, pretty bad on his part, but second one didn't actually go through with the play.
Looking to stop the recall there onto Bedoink. However, Bedoink does a really disciplined thing. I love when people do this. Walks so far back into the lane, goes back, gets himself the Catalyst of the Ages. Also will grab himself an Amplification Tome and 2 pink wards. Pink warding is everyone's job, guys.
Yep, 100%. Especially with no Tracker's Knife. Especially with Blue Smite, Red Smite junglers. Speaking of Red Smite, Juves is looking for the top lane. Praetor shoving this one in, and Seb is down bottom.
Yeah, this
so they
could
can
potentially
actually dive
be a
this.
huge play if they deny sleeping this creep wave. This would be first brick as well. No teleport available for Luch, and they're going to move in. If sleeping goes aggressive off the wall here, it's going to be the play. However, they do not, and he's just going to back away from the turret. But can now he stop this turret falling down? Is there a play to make on the opposite side of the map? Because I feel like the answer to that question is no.
Seb is actually just soloing out the Dragon right now, so the first brick will go over uncontested to Sin.
This
the
is
bot lane of
absolutely
Bombers.
Massive. Really nice pathing from Juves. Just puts him in a good position. Does he share gold? I feel like you have to at that stage. You've done half the work. You deserve it.
He probably did more of the work being a Kindred with the Cho'Gath there. So he does pick up first brick for his team, so the gold lead will be in favor of Sin, but Bombers right now get an Ocean.
The gods smile on that. They just give him a mark right in front of his Raptor, in front of the Rift Herald pit as well. Now, all of a sudden, Seb looking to counter jungle away. Is he on vision? Does not look like he is because he hasn't been pinged out.
Yeah,
now we'll kite
now.
into it, so they see him. Potentially, Juves will go for the counter jungle topside.
And that's the thing. It is a pretty bad tempo play to go for the Rift Herald if they can dive bot lane. But because you see Seb is soloing out the red buff and he's actually walking back towards mid, it gives them this extra time. They can play for the Rift Herald.
Also,
they know exactly where he is.
Again, we've seen this. It doesn't work. You can see already that Kuden and Dream just back away. Tristana plus Braum is such a hard lane to dive.
It might work in a 4v2. They've brought down Luch, but Ward's spotting out Seb. I mean, they can't really get onto the back line. Rosie's out of
now
flash
they do
range.
the right thing. They go onto Luch. Ultimate will be popped, and Luch will get stunned up. Flash forward out of Seb. Kidnap will be there, and that will be Dream falling down. Not able to buffer the jump out of that. Greedy play from Dream. Should have just flashed.
Absolutely greedy play out of the bot lane of Sin. Actually looking for the kill in the 4v2. Tried to get the outplay. So instead of holding on and getting the advantage topside, they do lose the turret, but overall in the long-term trade, you have to think slight advantage going over to Sin.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 2-2 right now. You see they have the Rift Herald, which is a banked-up turret pretty much. Should be able to get themselves an advantage, but still, should have lost a little bit more gracefully than that. Should have waited for Bedoink and Juves. Instead, they just went for a very strange play.
One of the outplay, one of the style points, but
good job for Bombers to really commit to the play, however. That would be a very easy play to just say, nah, we're going to take this play, turret. The play's sizzled, they've backed away. But instead, they commit all 4 members and they get a reward for it.
Yeah, they do. They actually flip their lanes to the top side. Be interesting to see if they put Karma in the side lane and duo mid, or if they're actually going back top. No, but Tiger kiting the red buff up to top side, so we'll catch that wave, and they're opting in to classic Australia lanes, bottom lane's top.
I do feel, however, that Cho'Gath has a much easier job underneath turret.
Yep, 100%.
I think that he's going to be able to potentially clear out. However, they don't go for it. They send back Dream as well as Kuden. So they're going to match the lane swap right now.
Which is pretty interesting, considering they've got a big wave down bot lane. Tristana should push quicker than Azaya Rakan. And they also have priority mid because the base came out from Luch, which they did know about. So interesting that they do actually match the lanes, but potentially just want to fight straight up. They have the Rift Herald, maybe want to isolate the side lane matchup, and then just put Rift Herald with the Cho'Gath into sleeping. He's already lost 1 turret like that. He can't defend it 1v2.
I was going to say, potentially the other thing you can go for is look to push out top turret as far as possible. Juves going to be stunned up. Ashley uses a flash. That's a good flash from Juves.
Respectful flash. Knows he was about to get slammed together. The bottom lane of the Bombers was floating behind the Zorn amorphous combatant there, so does get himself out of that one, but does burn the summoner.
What I was going to say is potentially they're going to look to shove this lane really far with Dream and Kuden, try and put 4 people mid lane and try and take down mid lane turret. They haven't shoved it all that far, but that looks like what the play is.
Yeah, 100%. They're bringing every single member. But there's no minions here, so the Rift Herald will crash by itself, but there will be 5 members. It is being matched by the Bombers, but they will be slightly slower to the play.
Yeah, see whether they can actually take this. Seb looking over the wall, goes for it. Will be able to knock back Juves. And, however, does not kidnap the right member. Gets 2 of them. Praedyth in there. Big jump from Rosie. That's all 3 members. Good ultimate from Juves. Will keep his team alive. Praedyth, however, falls down at the very end of it. And in goes Seb one more time. Looking for the smack back. Gets it. Double kill picked up for Luch.
And that's 2 kills picked up by the Bombers. Can they turn it into the mid lane turret? I feel like Dream potentially greeted out there. He was walking over with Kuden, would have been active in the play, and Tiger was actually further behind. But went back towards the top side, wanted to pick up more farm, more CS. But instead, doesn't actually make it to the play. Seb gets a really nice engage onto the back line, pulls in 2 members under the turret, and perfect timing for Sleeping to arrive.
Yeah, and Rosie's ultimate there cannot be understated. Big impact play.
And we see this right here. Praedyth gets caught up in the kidnap as well, and I think it is actually Juves who gets slapped back in, unstoppable. No, it's the Braum and the Cho'Gath actually. Both frontliners end up under the turret, and they have one way to go. Back to the base. They want to get back to the Cassiopeia, and Rosie pulls the trigger perfectly. They all stack up, gets multiple man knock up. It didn't even matter that Juves laid his ulti on top of that one. They lived for a few seconds longer. They got a little bit of a heal, but they were just dead anyway.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, when you have a look at this, that's just what the layered CC means. When you're able to get Zach in first, perfectly layered by Rosie, it's just such a long duration of not being able to fight. And unfortunately, no damage coming out means that Bombers absolutely now in a commanding position.
Gold lead steadily in their favor, about 2,000 gold. Next Dragon is spawning in about a minute. Bombers obviously already have the Ocean Drake.
Got to remember, this game means so much more for the Bombers. This is their whole season still alive. Obviously, they need to rely on Legacy to lose. However, if they just keep winning, at least they control some part of their destiny. As soon as they lose this game, everything is over for them in terms of this season.
But they're looking for a play on the top side, bringing up 4 members. Lanes are deployed, not matching from both sides. The duo lane going mid for Sin, but top side for Bombers. They're looking for that top lane out. A Dream. Mantra Q, that's half his HP.
Yeah, and I mean, look how fed right now Luch is. Goes towards just the Luden's Echo, now going towards what looks like a Rylai's? No, it's going to be Morellonomicon, or potentially, does Leandri still build out of it?
Yeah, Leandri's has the same build path.
Okay.
It's Amped Tome, Ruby Crystal into the Burning Face, into the Haunting Guys, and then Blasting Wand turns into actual Leandri. So it has the same build path as the Oblivion Orb, which I think is the component for Morello. So until you upgrade to the Haunting Guys or the Oblivion Orb, you don't really know which one it's going into.
Nice, I like it. As Juves once again joins one of his solo laners to pick up a turret.
Yep, he's going to get the gold as well.
More turret gold again. Still 2,000. As a very aggressive out of Kuden, out of Luch, actually chasing Kuden forward. I think the Brom's base skin is underrated, by the way.
Disagree. Strongly disagree. Actually, in the bot lane, Sleeping's gone into an engage onto Bedoink.
He's just killed Bedoink.
Yep.
So a little bit too rough to watch that one. Luch goes down, picks up the kill.
Locked him down. Luch hits him with the Mantra Q, picks up a free kill, now 3-0 and 1. Right now, I was going to mention, as I'm just going to take away free Air Drake, Sin not really going to contest this one without a mid laner, but Juves game 1, Kindred, not looking good. Game 2, Kindred looking real good. I feel like this one, despite his scoreline, is sort of in the middle, right?
Yeah, it's split the difference.
Yeah, because it is in the middle in terms of like KDA and stuff like that, but he's also got turret gold on both side lanes as well. As we're taking a look at this one, Sleeping, locks him in. He wanted to go over the wall with a blasting plant, but unfortunately that's what Camille ulti does.
Yeah, Hextech ultimatum means you can't leave.
It's an ultimatum. You've got one choice, and that choice is fight.
But he doesn't fight.
He doesn't.
Do you know who I thought we would see in pro play that we didn't, and who's terrorizing my solo queue at the moment?
Who's that?
Xin Zhao.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And his weird ulti thing where you have to be within range to hurt him is real frustrating as an AD carry.
He's a real like pub stop champ though. If he gets ahead, it's actually true. He has that new artwork.
I hate Xin Zhao.
Yeah, I think his new.
There has never been a stage that Xin Zhao has been at where I'm like, that is a fair and balanced champion.
Yeah. He's either
like, this
useless.
guy is so oppressive, or this guy does nothing. And in either case, I don't want him in my game.
Don't want him on your team or the enemy team, but
at the moment, I'll take him in my team because I think he's actually a little bit oppressive.
I haven't played against him in a while, to be honest. Not too many in my games, but as we do check back in with the game right now, Rosie once again building towards Banner of Command. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, liking it, Sin. Looking for a bit of a Fnatic push there, but Bombers check. With the tankiest Zach I've ever seen at 20 minutes right now. Got his, almost at his Warmogs.
Yeah, he's actually very accelerated. I mean, 1-0 and 3. Seb's done a great job of keeping tempo with this game, which, as we keep mentioning, you know, lack of green smite, tank junglers farm a little bit slower, especially Zach. I mean, there are some tank junglers, like, you know, when Sejuani was going fleet footwork and Machete, or Gragas has always been a quick farmer because he's just got so much AoE. But Zach isn't that guy, but Seb's just kept pace with the game. Yeah, he has kept up. He's ahead of Camps and CS and Juves. It's pretty interesting. Carry vs tank matchup. Has found access to that farm. Like Cassio right now sitting on 2 items. Pretty strong for the most part as we check in with the gold across the board. Top lane is even. Jungle, touching distance, 300 gold, but mid lane is where the big advantage is for the Bombers. For sure. This is not a Bedoin Cassio game.
Just under 2,000.
And this is what we really expected out of Luch this season, actually. You know, he's the superstar of the team. That's a player that they really wanted to retain. In preseason, he was playing Karma Lulu mid only.
Yep.
He really thought he was onto something that other people weren't, and then kind of didn't play it in professional play. And turns out he was right. This Karma's looked very good. And I have to backtrack. Because Rosie didn't go Banner of Command. He went Zeke's. They have the same build path. Obviously, he wants the more aggressive option. Rakan is probably the best user of Zeke's. Because what happens is when you cast your ultimate, that's when your AD carry gets the buff, and you ignite the Frost Storm, and you start dealing a lot of damage. But the big thing with Rakan is you're engaged just so slow down almost one-dimensional. Onto Tiger. Tiger wins the trade, however. And if you're ulting on Rakan, you're going in. 100% your AD carry is going to be hitting things, especially when you're with the Xayah. So it makes stylistically a lot of sense, and he's probably the best user of Zeke's. So I can respect it. It has been, we're only 22 minutes in, approaching 23, but there hasn't really been any setups around the Baron. I feel like the gold lead, only 3,000. Bombers haven't been too willing. I also think that Knight's Vow has fallen off a little bit when junglers were picking it up. And I think that one of the AD carries you really want to give a Knight's Vow to as a jungler is Xayah. Because her uptime of damage is so high. You get so much health back as a jungler from Xayah ripping through front lines.
Yeah.
I just think it's an undervalued item right now. It's kind of fallen completely off the face of the earth as Warmog's Interlocket has become such a popular build.
It's just hard to see the value. Obviously, in competitive play, you have analysts and things like that. But as like just an average player, you can look at a Locket and you're like, man, Orianna hit a big shockwave, and I pressed my Locket and negated half of the damage. That's huge. Whereas Knight's Vow is just like 12% damage reduction. You don't really see the biggest part of that, and you unless you are the jungler. You don't really see too much of the healing for the most part.
Absolutely well-timed Scryer's Bloom there right now, or Blue Trinket, was it?
From spot out.
Who actually used that? It was Bedoink.
Yep.
Mid lane.
Cassiopeia.
Did not see he had one, because spotted out that man. Sev flies in, looks for Juice, does not find him. Tiger looked for some damage as well, didn't not land. Didn't
really want to commit to the play there, did Seb. He landed on Juice, but then walked away before throwing the Q, so... Wasn't really willing to commit to that one. Potentially went in, got the knock-up and realized don't want to go out. Couldn't.
That damage is real starting to layer up as Bedoink goes forward, dodges out on that, will be tossed backwards. However, in goes Rosie, and Tiger on the back line is absolutely destroying Sin Gaming. Nice ultimate out of Bedoink, will keep him alive for a little bit longer, but he will still fall down. Sleeping flies in, and 3 members for absolutely nothing.
And that gives Bombers exactly what they need. But we're talking about the Baron that hadn't seen too much attention, but they already have control. They finally find the pick that they needed, and they're now onto the objective. No jungler on the lineup of Sin to contest, so this will go over to the Bombers.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely nothing he can do. There's no teleport. Dream's not going to go face check it by himself. Instead, looking to see if he can get potentially some chip damage on the mid lane turret. Needs to back away because Luch has already shown himself bottom lane, top lane, sorry.
And that's the thing. Luch recognizes that he's not actually needed for the Baron, gets to push in that extra wave and a bit of chunk damage, and this is the start of the fight. Bedoink gets caught out of position, but Tiger is the big threat, you notice here, with Rosie dealing so much damage. Luch has kind of done his job initially on the engage, catching out Bedoink, and allows Rosie and Tiger to step up. They land the CC, they deal all the damage, and in the choke point, Bomber's composition is just so good.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, and the fact that Tiger was brave enough to come from a different angle because he knew he had his summoner spells, also that ultimate meant that Kuden was only blocking damage from one side.
And he was behind it.
Exactly right. And then at the same time, Kuden had to throw his ulti at just Tiger. So everything really lining up for the Bombers in that engage. And you can see right now, 5,000 gold lead. Sleeping going to sneak himself a tempo dragon because he's not really going to be the only person on the map at this stage.
100%. That's what you look at when you look at Sin's composition. Front to back looks fine. They have the front line. They have the Braum wall that can go up. They have the Cassio ulti that, as you mentioned, can only go one way. Braum shield can only go one way. So if you get these flank fights, if you get these scattered engages where Sleeping can come from one angle and Luch can come from another, it just means so much, and it just opens up the Bombers' carries to deal more damage than they already should.
Yeah, completely agree. At the same time, Juice was able to burn Tiger's ulti there, so one combat tool not going to be available, and you got to watch for Cho'Gath now to just rupture silence, eat AD carry. We've talked about it a lot. Cho'Gath is very good at dealing with this. Seb charging up that slingshot, zoning away the top lane tier 2 turret.
They will be able to take this one down at the back end. Tiger going to walk around. One auto attack there with Luch will take it down, so that's one inner turret taken. Sleeping looking to pressure the one on the bot side right now, but is looking to rotate towards the mid lane. Do they actually commit to anything?
Goes over the wall. You can see he wants a little bit of Praedyth, gets some good damage down. You see Praedyth actually returns damage fairly well at this stage of the game.
Fairly well. Sleeping obviously with the Ravenous Hydra will be able to sustain it back up, but so will Praedyth there on the Cho'Gath when he clears out this wave. But he's sitting pretty and that is the big thing. Burnt his Righteous Glory as well, so talked about Tiger not having the ultimate. We'll have to use the flash to actually get onto that one, but it will be up soon from the Xayah.
Yeah, you can see that simultaneously pretty much all 3 outer turrets fall down, so great coordination right now from the Bombers. They've got themselves an 8,000 gold lead. Moments ago, I feel like I was saying it was 5, and they can just recall now. About 1,000 gold per person to go back and shopping. You can see that means completed 3 items on both the carries.
Very big deal. Sin.
Oh, okay. This is a good time. So with the changes to Rabadon's Death Cap, this is a little thing, because I think no matter what he builds right now, Luch is ahead, right? But mathematically, Rabadon's Death Cap got so much more valuable, especially for a champion like Karma. The reason you used to see Rabadon's third on champions like Orianna and Karma is Void Staff doesn't buff their defensive abilities. So Orianna with a Void Staff, sure does a little bit more damage, but her shield with Rabadon's got so much bigger. And that's kind of what you need out of Karma as well. So he will go for it as his 4th item, but with the change to Death Cap, obviously giving you 5% more AP, as well as the build path being ironed out a lot. Double needlessly large rod feels much better than having to walk around with 3 components.
And an amp tome. You don't want an amp tome.
No one wants an amp tome.
30 minutes.
I just think that this is one of those stages where, you know, this is a lack of adaptation to a patch, but it's only a tiny thing.
Not to mention the Void Staff also lost 10 AP as well, so Rabadons did get buffed with the extra 5%, but also Void Staff lost some flat AP, so especially in the instance of a Karma, where the flat AP translates literally to shield power.
And I think it's still like 120 AP for Rabadons. Plus you got 100 coming out of your fully stacked roller in a second, 100 coming out of your Ludens. So that's like, what, 320? An extra 40% of that just puts you like so far over the top. They've got Baron buff at the moment. It's just such a good item. As we see a Kidnap on the bottom lane, Praetor's going to go down very low, charmed up by Rosie. Will get slapped back, however, will not fall down. What used for no result?
And that's what you mentioned. A lot of cooldowns were used. They burned the Flash and Ghost out of Rosie to get onto that one, but no carries were around. Tiger was just not there. Sleeping had done the brunt of his damage already. Luch top lane, they just couldn't close out the kill on the Cho'Gath. So in the end, he flashes, but he does walk back to his base.
And this is why I was saying Juves is a feast or famine jungler, because we briefly went to Juves there, and he has like 4 stacks or something like that. Given the fact that he's playing in the base, that's where he'll end the stacks. He's not getting any more unless he kills Luch, who's 5 levels higher than him, and I don't think that's really realistic at this stage of the game.
That's rough. Not to mention, Karma, one of the best champions at keeping distance between you and an angry opponent. I feel like Juves isn't the angry one in that relationship right there, with a 5-level lead on the Karma. That's an angry Karma.
Certainly
and
is.
a friendly Kindred.
Very tame. That is more lamb than what one would say.
That's what I was going to say. 100%. Unfortunately for Juves, that is the case, but see the ticker approaching the top left-hand side of your screen right now, so the Baron will be spawning in 2 minutes. It feels like once the Baron was worn off, they burnt down all the inners. But Bombers really struggling to actually break the base. Rosie is building towards the banner now, but because they didn't have that one before, they couldn't walk a siege minion through to the turrets. Yeah,
and that's what it feels like. It feels like the Baron up minion is just a little bit more effective at closing out the game, whereas his build is a lot more combat ready, as we see big damage being done to this turret, and Juves just, that's why we were talking about the 5-level lead. Juves was there, now he ain't.
He has ult, he has flash, he has hands on his head right now, and he looks confused. How did that happen? Got completely one shot there. And that was all because Bedoink was actually top lane, clearing out the wave. It meant Bombers could kind of commit a little bit more to the turret. They get him to that half HP, take that one down already, but with Juves dead, they're going to take more. Yeah, exactly right. Now this turret just falls. There's no way they can fight without the Lamb's Respite. So they take bottom inhibitor a minute before Baron is spawning. Great proactive play out of the Bombers. That is the ideal inhibitor. That is the ideal situation the Bombers can find themselves in. They have both TPs available. So even if Praetor is sitting bot lane and they want to try and push that one out, they can honestly look for a pick with their 2 solo lanes and then TP over to the Baron pit. There's so many options for the Bombers to play the next minute of this game right now. Looks like they're just opting in for a reset, and Rosie, because of that spell book and the Ghost, already has a shorter cooldown than Flash. He does have that one available, but Flash coming up fairly soon. Dream, honestly, a nice job to get that crab. That's a big deal. I was going to say that. That's actually really nice from Dream. It guarantees them some vision around it. They also sweep out. Potentially, they can just look to rush it in 20 seconds' time if the Bombers aren't careful, because they've got Feast from Cho'Gath. They've got a lot of damage that will be here. 10 seconds. I'm honestly surprised they actually hit the Scry's Bloom there. Potentially want to deny it from the Bombers, but if anyone face-checked into the river... They're just going to really go for this. Yep. Potentially the smart outplay. Juves has the potential to bait Seb into the pit, and they can take him down with Lamb's Respite onto Baron. Obviously, it heals Baron up as well, because they can't die. This is a rank 3 Feast. It's so low already. They keep everyone out. Leave Praetor in the pit. He gets it. All of a sudden, Kidnap onto Dream. He gets a huge shield, but he's going to fall down. Lamb's Respite was on Juve, who nearly gets one hit. Over the wall he goes. Bedoink now. They're just trying to disengage this fight. No, Bedoink goes forward onto Tiger, and you can see that he's doing so much damage. Bedoink was looking for a kill, but will not find it. Praetor stuck top lane by himself. Hookshot over the wall means that without... Oh, he's actually just going to TP. He's going to get out. There's no CC coming. Oh, he just dies. Last few moments channeling up the TP. Seb has also dove mid lane turret. You can see right now, 3 members dead. Baron will keep them
a little bit in this game, but with 15 seconds on Dream, 30 seconds on Badoink, you expect it to be the game.
That's the big thing. Can they hold on for 30 seconds for the mid laner and the AD carry to be back up, or can Bombers actually end the game here? They have a wave. Bottom inhib was already down, so they're pushing this one to the Nexus.
5 seconds for Dream. They let this one fall down. I think they make their stand here. You can see door goes up from Kuden. Already you can see big damage coming across onto Sleeping. He's into GA. You can, Jubes just can't do anything. Sleeping goes in one more time. Jump over his Dream. He's CC'd up. He is blown up. Luch kills Jubes again. And it wasn't pretty. It took 33 minutes. But in the end, Bombers will close this one up. 2-1. Badoink will die again. No, he won't.
Close. Very close. Last time these two teams faced off, Sin ended up the victor, but the tides have turned for the Bombers here. You were talking about how important that victory was. They do finally end it out. Sin, honestly, I liked the Baron play. They were in a hole there.
That's a great play.
They weren't able to defend their base. They knew if they give up the Baron, then they're just not going to be able to defend it. So it makes a lot of sense to go and contest that one. Unfortunately, nice engage out of Rosie. Dream pops early. He goes down.
Yep.
A lot of the members come out. Sleeping on the back end of that, almost like flashed in and one-shot Juves. He was just so low level, was getting one-shot by everyone, not just the Karma, but also the Camille.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of those plays that if you let them take Baron, you 100% lose the game.
Yep.
If you take Baron, you have like a 10-15% chance of stalling out and winning the game. So I think that it's, got to take that chance. You got to go down swinging. You know Sin's that team. They executed on the Baron. They mis-execute on the team fight. I mean, if Praedyth lives 0.1 second earlier on that TP, then really that's anyone's game.
Maybe they didn't even mis-execute the team fight. We saw it for like a few moments.
I think Badoink went in after he landed a good ulti.
Okay.
I think Badoink honestly could have escaped there.
Okay.
So,
okay, potentially there, but there was a significant goal lead in the favor of Bombers. You have to think it was like a 90-10 fight anyway. They kind of wiped the floor we've seen in the end of that one, and close out the game. TP to bot lane, push that one in.
I think Swiffer said it in an interview that when you play Cassiopeia, because you're so lane dominant, you get territorial. And when people are in your face, you're like, I'm going to fight. Yep. And he got Tiger solo, and then Tiger got out. And then he got, I think, Rosie solo. And then Rosie got out, and he was like, just more people fight me. Like, where are you coming from? I got you. But in the end, he fell down
Is that like Lee syndrome, but it's like Cass syndrome?
It's like Cass syndrome.
Anyone's in your space, you're like...
Because in a straight-up 1v1, if you land poisons, you just absolutely destroy people.
You can heal. If you land a stun, like you get like half your HP back by the time you actually eat the opponent.
Yep.
So, yeah, a lot of potential there.
But unfortunately for Sin, it wasn't enough. Very close games, entertaining series. 8.4 looks a lot more deep than I think that we initially thought.
It looks better, to be honest. Like I'm just actually straight up enjoying these games a lot more than 8.3. We saw a lot slower things. I feel like in OS, we're a pretty quick region for the most part, and but 8.4 kind of accentuates that, and just means like we saw some weird games today, to be honest. We saw some like macro victories, people playing with the Banner of Command and things like that, but we also saw like game one of the day was just complete fighter.
But we've also seen like things like Sin are willing to roll the dice on a Baron play, whereas if that's the last patch, I feel like you're like, we got Cassiopeia and Miasma. They can't really dive us because of Lambs Respite. Let's chill. Whereas this patch, it's like, no, if you do that, you're going to lose the game. Let's roll the dice. And it just makes for more entertaining gameplay.
It's just interesting. It's fun. We got to see also some weird champions. Kindred coming into today, like Kindred wasn't even on my radar. Straight up, I was like, that champion, I haven't seen it in solo queue. Like, I haven't seen anyone playing it. Obviously, Sin have been practicing it in scrims, and obviously it also came out because Bombers were just banning away 17 junglers every single game. But honestly, it looks like it has potential.
I think they banned 5, but 17, you know.
I think 17 is the technical term.
So tell me one more time, what's your Bard build?
What's my Bard build?
Yeah.
Oh, Haunting Guys, Nashers, Leandri. Are you gonna...
All right, we're going to throw it to an interview, and I'm going to get Rosie's opinion on that build right now.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, Chujus and I are joined by Rosie. I've got to ask you, what do you think about that build?
That's horrible. don't talk to me ever again, bros.
Well, congratulations on today's win. You were able to flip the score from the last time you went up against Sin. Were you guys expecting this result today? And how did the team feel coming into
honestly, like, we were looking for the 2-0. I mean, you should probably go into every week hoping for that. But, yeah, I don't know. I was feeling a bit stressed after the second game because I feel like when we're looking for that, and I guess we're still actually looking for playoffs a bit, but that's very hopeful. But, yeah, kind of a bit sad, but at least we beat them this time. It's good.
The team has made such an improvement throughout the split. How does it feel with everyone's hard work paying off?
It's feeling a lot better now. Honestly, after the first 2 weeks, I mean, you know, Aaron played well. But, yeah, having, like, 2 subs... having 2 subs is honestly a really difficult start to the season. And then we had a really rough going against, you know, the top teams in the next few weeks. So, yeah, coming into this back end, we just want to try, like, do our best and pretty much just improve for next split.
That's a good way to look at it. I would like to ask your opinion, Andrew, on the Kindred pick.
We were honestly surprised. Like, we weren't expecting something like a
Neither were
Kindred.
we, yeah.
No. But yeah, I guess the second game it worked pretty well because they got that lead and it kind of snowballed, and we couldn't really engage on them because like once they drop that ulti, we're pretty much just going to lose the fight because they have the advantage over us. So I guess it worked out in the second game.
Did you guys ever consider banning it going into game 3? I was expecting Kindred to get banned, but you didn't.
Not really. Like, I think in the first and the third game, it pretty much kind of like showed its weaknesses. Like, it's really squishy, and he was kind of just getting blown up in like engages and picked off. So we weren't really that worried about it. It was just in a team fight, it just protected them a lot when they were in the lead. So.
A few weeks ago, there was a bit of a heated discussion between Jake, Bryce, and Swiper about whether you're a passive or an aggressive support. So I have to ask you, which one do you think you are?
I honestly feel like I can do a bit of both. I guess previously I haven't really been...
That's what I said.
Yeah, like previously I haven't really been known to like play a champion like Alistair, but I've picked it up this split. It's been really strong, and I think it's actually really suited how I want to play with the team. And I think it's actually working out really well for us as through the results, I guess.
I also wanted to ask you how it's been for you being able to play for the Bombers, because you've been an Essendon fan for a long time. You put a tweet out a while ago showing all of your
yeah, my memorabilia.
Items. Yes, that's the word. So how's it been for you?
I guess it's kind of feeling like kind of normal now. It's just like, you know, your regular day. But yeah, at the start it was pretty surreal, like walking at the hangar, going in there every day for like practice and stuff. You get some of the players when we go for lunch, they ask, you know, how things are going. So, yeah, I don't know, just having the players around and recognizing us is, I don't know, it's pretty insane, to be honest.
Must be pretty cool. There is still a chance that you can make it to the gauntlet. I know you were saying it's pretty slim, but there's still a chance. So what are your goals for the rest of the split, and how will you be working towards it?
It's honestly just doing the best we can. Like, we don't really care about the results of other teams. Like, we need them to kind of go in our way, but if we don't make it, we don't make it. We won't really be disappointed, but we just want to like show our best, go into like the off season, go for like a boot camp, and then come back really strong for the next split, which I think we can do.
Well, you were able to come out with a win today, so congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Also, a big thank you for Choo Choo's to joining us on the couch today. It's been great having you here.
No worries, Andrew.
To close out the day, we're going to hand it back over to Jake and Bryce.
Really good to hear from Rosie, one of the veterans of the scene. Played for, you know, Immunity, Chiefs, Sin Gaming. He's played for a lot of good AD carries as well. Played with Lost, actually brought him into the OPL with Chiefs Black. Obviously played with Radier back in the day, and now is starting to really show the potential of the Bombers.
But unfortunately, just doesn't know a thing about Bard build, so just completely discredit everything he said.
No, not at all. Rapid Fire Cannon Bard, best Bard on the server. However, guys, let's jump into, I think it's the schedule. It was Avant Gaming picking up a 2-0 win over Tectonic before the Bombers took down Sin 2-1. Tomorrow, I think my producer told me he's calling it Super Sizzling Sunday.
Okay.
Which I don't like, but you know, whatever. It's going to be Legacy taking on the Chiefs in OPL Classico before the Order lineup takes on the Direwolves in what is a rematch. Last time, Direwolves able to get the 2-1 victory. They need to do it again tomorrow to hope to retain top spot. Out of those two games, who's closer? Which one is it?
Who's closer? I think Order Direwolves.
Ooh.
I think Chiefs have looked on the up and up, and I feel like Legacy have shown that they've struggled time and time again. So I feel like Chiefs will have a more dominant performance over Legacy than Direwolves will over Order.
Okay. And at the same time, who is the best team in the OPL now?
Oh.
Is it Chiefs? Is it Order? Or is it Direwolves?
You've really put me on the spot here. You've really put me on the spot.
We normally pre-play questions. Bryce hates surprises.
I think Direwolves.
You still think Direwolves?
I think Direwolves. I think it's hard to put them over Order. I feel like Chiefs have looked good on the up and up, but I feel like Direwolves, their carries are really stepping up. Their bottom lane was like the big wild card. I feel like Triple has kind of slotted himself into the team and has looked good, but King and Cupcake look like they're really, really good coming into it. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I always say if you haven't beaten them yet, they're still the best team in the league. They're sitting 7-0, even though they're not top spot. However, guys, that is all the League of Legends action we have for you today. On behalf of myself, Bryce, the entire production crew, of course, everyone on the Analyst Hangouts, and Hungry Jacks. Catch you tomorrow for Super Sizzling Sunday. Straight away, they don't get the shield up in time. Good ultimate, however. out of Kuden. Means that Rosie will fall down. Luch will get stumped up. Flash forward out of set. Kidnap will be there. And that will be Dream falling down. Not able to buffer the jump out of that. And however, does not kidnap the right member. Gets two of them. Praetus in there. Big jump from Rosie. That's all three members. Good ultimate from Juice. Will keep his team alive. Praetus, however, falls down at the very end of it. And in goes Seb one more time. Looking for the smack back. Gets it. Double kill picked up for Luch. In goes Rosie. And Tiger on the back line is absolutely destroying Sim Gaming. Nice ultimate out of Bedoink. Will keep him alive for a little bit longer. But he will still fall down. Sleeping flies in. And three members for absolutely nothing. And over the wall he goes, Bedoink now. They're just trying to disengage his fight. No, Bedoink goes forward onto Tiger. And you can see that he's doing so much damage. Bedoink was looking for a kill, but will not find it. Sleeping goes in one more time. Jump over his Dream. He's CC'd up. He is blown up. Luch kills Jubes again. And it wasn't pretty. It took 33 minutes, but in the end, Bombers will close this one up. 2-1. Bedoink will die again. No, he won't.